What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to show you how to develop endless imagination. And I know that sounds kind of crazy. I'm not actually going to show you how to develop endless imagination, but I'm kind of going to show you my process and how I develop a lot of things with my imagination and kind of do it quickly and efficiently without really thinking too much about it and just letting my mind kind of do what it does. And if you've ever seen some of my stuff, I'll put it up on screen here, but I make a lot of stuff that is very detailed and wild, very random, very out of nowhere, and I draw a lot of stuff that I don't even see coming. The one thing I tell people in my videos, the one thing I talk about is how a lot of the stuff I make comes out of nowhere, and it's just the quick drawing, the instant sketching on the paper that kind of develops those ideas. So today I want to show you that process and what it looks like for me to sketch and how the ideas sort of come about. And I'm going to talk as I go about it, and maybe it'll help somebody out. But yeah, so I want to get started here by just doing some sketching. I like to start in pencil. I got my eraser, and the way I like to hop into it is usually using shapes. I don't like to really think too much about an object yet, but usually I like to start with the shape and just let it kind of come together. So yeah, we're gonna do that right now. I'm gonna draw something here. I'm immediately thinking like a cool circle. We're gonna draw that. So I got my circle here, and I'm already seeing the images in my head of something, and it might not be cool, but I like to just kind of go for it, not really think too much about it. Yeah, I don't know, when I'm drawing stuff and I'm making a lot of interesting shapes out of nowhere, it's very funny how it comes together sometimes. I guess the one thing that really matters when I'm drawing this stuff is not to overthink. I find that when I overthink, and even when I'm making this video I feel it a little bit, not overthinking is like the most important thing ever when it comes to drawing something cool that you like, because if you're overthinking, you're gonna start questioning every little thing you do, and really it's not that deep, bro. You just gotta draw and see what your mind creates. Like this is such a stupid sketch here. This is not even a good sketch, but I think it has the potential to be something that would be really cool, and just getting an idea down. If I just get the idea down, that way it exists. The ideas that just kind of pop in my head immediately, if I just get them down, then you know this now exists. This cool idea exists, so I could refine it in the future maybe. I could turn it into something that's actually good looking, because it is kind of funny, you know. He's got these cool arms that I think are pretty cool. I'm not really mad at it. The proportions aren't right or anything like that, but the idea is still pretty fun, and he could be a pretty cool looking dude if I refined it in the future. Yeah, I guess that's what's really important, is just getting the idea down in general, because what do you got to lose? We're in the sketchbook, we're drawing whatever we draw, and no one cares. No one actually cares at all. So just draw whatever your mind is thinking, and just let it exist, because it might be something really cool. It might turn into something that's really cool. I've been trying to do this more often, where I just sketch out little character ideas, let them exist, instead of trying to draw full pieces like I do a lot of the times. I've just been doing this recently because as I do this, the more and more, my brain will start kind of figuring out what it likes. I won't be questioning myself as much as, you know, I do sometimes. Yeah, there's my first sketch, my first example right there. Pretty bad example, but this is the first drawing of the day, so I'm not mad at it. But yeah, this is just to show that, you know, I make stuff that looks pretty stupid a lot, and, you know, a lot of the stupid ideas I've made have became really cool looking after some time, after some refining. You have to trust yourself that some of the ideas you make that might not look good in the moment are good ideas. I think every idea can be a good idea. It could be like a freaking hot dog potato man, but if you do it right and you make it awesome in the right context, there's probably a reality where that is a successful idea in some kind of way. So I don't know, I would just give all your ideas a shot, because your brain came up with it, and you have to believe that your brain is worth coming up with something, you know what I mean? Sounds kind of stupid to say, but it is a real thought process that I think the subconscious puts on us, to think that our brain isn't valid for creating good ideas. So gotta get that out of your head, because it's not true. All right, there's my first jacked freaking robot dude. I'm happy with it. It's funny. I think it shows in a pretty good light the way I kind of just draw nonsense all the time, and how that nonsense can turn into something very awesome if you just let it live. I'm gonna draw another one. We're gonna move on to the next page. And what's cool is, you know, I might take that guy some other day and turn it into something cool. Now I got it stored on the paper. It's like a hard drive with all my ideas in it. And if I'm making something and I don't put it in the file and save it, what is the point? It's just gonna be deleted, and who knows if I'll ever even think of those things again. All right, I'm thinking of drawing like our cool robot built into a tree or something like that. So I'm gonna just draw like a tree. Alright, I got this cool tree here, and my ideas are changing as I draw this. Like, I don't really know if I want to draw that anymore. I'm thinking of something a little different now, I think. it's like an instant thought. The instant thought I just had, I put it into action, no matter how stupid it might have sounded. It's like the way I've trained my brain is like, I don't even care if if it sounds stupid. I don't know if it sounds stupid because I'm past that. If it is a stupid idea, I find out after I drew it, you know what I mean? But I always end up drawing it anyways. I always end up making it exist, giving it the chance to exist, because I don't know, there's so many times where if I had just not given this stupid idea the light of day, it would have never existed. A lot of the stuff I've drawn before that I love would have never been made. Yeah, like in this moment, it probably did sound like a stupid idea, and I just completely canceled that out in my brain. Like, I don't even know if it was a stupid idea until after I drew it. But in the moment, we just move, you know, you just keep moving. So I got this cool guy, he's pretty funny. He's like a little walking dog guy with a giant tree on his back. Like, what you doing, bro? And you know what's interesting? You know, we're all different. Everybody is different. So no one's gonna draw exactly how I draw. Everyone's got their own lived experiences that change the way they draw. So you might be looking at this and thinking, wow, I'd never draw something like that. But it's all about your own ideas, what your mind actually brings to the table. Like, if my mind brings some pretty weird stuff to the table, maybe yours won't. Maybe yours is more a designing type mind that likes the aesthetically pleasing things, and you could be like a designer for websites or something cool like that. But you got to figure out what your mind likes, and you know, sometimes, you know, your mind will bring things to the table that would be good for a book or a beautiful animation, you know, TV series. You know, you never know what your drawings could be used for until you make them. Or a video game even. Maybe you're a video game artist, you just don't know it yet. Unlocking your brain and allowing yourself to draw these crazy ideas that come to your head is so important, because if you, let's say you post this stuff, you make an account online, start posting your visions, people are going to want to see the stuff that's interesting, different, and usually the different stuff that you're going to create is the instant stupid ideas, and then you just refining them with your skill, with your personality into it, that makes it good. Okay, there's my little tree guy. Pretty happy with that. He's pretty funny looking. I'm gonna zoom in on him real quick. Check it out. He is pretty funny, dude. Oh man, you see, like, this would be a funny guy to see in some kind of something. I don't really know what, but in some kind of magical world TV show or video game. This would be like such a cool little creature to come across. I'm actually really happy with that. That's a funny one. I started with a tree. I said I wanted a robot mixed with the tree. That's the first thought that came to my mind. I was looking at the tree I drew after just letting my brain draw what it drew, and I changed my mind. The next thought that came to my mind was a little dude connected to the tree. And if I just let my brain sit there, y'all would have never known that I thought of that. Y'all would have never known that even came to my mind, and this would never have existed. Honestly, a world where this didn't exist would be worse, in my opinion. I'm happy I drew this. This makes me happy. This is cool. And if I just let that inner dialogue stop me from even drawing this on camera, I mean, you know how stupid that would be? Someone might look at this and think, oh man, this is an awesome design. I want to use this for something. Who know? You don't know, but you don't know until you let the world see it. Okay, there's my next sketch. There's my next example. I'm happy with this one. This one turned out a lot more authentic than this one, I think. This is the first drawing of the day. I felt a little tense on camera. I usually draw like a robot, so it makes sense that I drew that. I'm gonna do one more to conclude this video. Hopefully that kind of just shows you guys how it's not a good thing to think that what you see is not special. It's not true. Everyone has a different way of sketching and drawing and imagining ideas, and all of our ideas can be used somewhere. Everyone is capable of a successful idea. But let's say, you know, you think you can barely draw anything successful. If you drew 100 of these sketches in a row, I guarantee one of the sketches would be a good idea that you could use somewhere, that someone could use somewhere, that someone online might see and think, whoa, that's actually really cool, or that's a great idea that could be used somewhere. You can make something really cool in a silly way, a powerful way, a sad way, a angry way. I mean, there's so many good ways to portray something, and you just gotta allow yourself the chance to portray those ideas. But yeah, so we'll do one more sketch. What am I thinking now? I have some kind of weird idea in my head. I want to do it like a dude with some cool hair. It's weird making videos like this for me, because I'm always thinking in the back of my head, like, I'm not cut out for making videos like this, like a topic like this, because, you know, I look at my art and I see all the things that might be wrong or not perfect, and I'm like, and I look at art online a lot and I'm like, dang man, all these guys are so good. But I try to push past that, because I know that a lot of my stuff is pretty interesting, and I really do believe that. And you got to believe that as an artist, that your stuff is valuable, and it's worth the time of day, worth describing how you go about it worth showing it, because the inner monologue telling you that is not useful for yourself to grow. It's not useful for yourself to create more, to accomplish your goals. And even if it's right, let's entertain the idea that it's right and you're not capable of doing these things. What does that do for you? What does that do for you to not continue to keep trying and learn from your mistakes? And I'm only saying that idea that it might be true to say that it's clearly not true. It's clearly not true, because with time and effort, you can discover what actually you're supposed to do, what you're actually good at. In the art world and other things, with the time and effort, the understanding yourself by doing things, by trying different things, is how you get better. And every human has the potential to grow. That's like one of the things that we do. And if you think that you can't grow, that's just a really bad thought to have about yourself, especially if you know you haven't really tried enough yet. And I know when I don't try enough, and I still know I haven't tried enough yet with a lot of these things. It's all these things that you can learn, and I can learn, everyone can learn, but you have to be able to dream big and believe in yourself, believe that this is worth your time, because you can eventually get somewhere you want to be. So yeah, I kind of rambled there, but yeah, I don't know. It's really important that you believe in yourself, even when it's not showing at first, when the fruits aren't showing first, when they're not alive yet. So that's all I want to say, but we're gonna finish this guy up and see how he turns out. Alright, I think that's a pretty cool sketch right there. Pretty fun dude. He's crazy looking, I gotta say. He's got his keyboard and he's holding a sword behind his head. I don't know. It's cool though. At least in my opinion, this is my type of stuff right here. I don't know why it's my type of stuff, but it is. It's definitely my type of stuff. But yeah, I think that'll wrap up my examples for today's video. I think that my examples, even though they're rough and they're random and kind of weird, I think they do a good job of trying to get my point across that I'm trying to show y'all. Over time, I've made it easier for myself to be carefree when I draw. When I started drawing, it was kind of like that. It's kind of the way things have been for me, is I've been very random about my drawing, and maybe that's why, because I got started doing that. But I know for a lot of people, they don't start like that. Maybe you started by drawing, copying things that you saw online. I can't say that's the same for my story, but if I had done that, if I had started by just copying over and over again, things like that, I don't think I would be as free as I am now with the way that I draw, if I had started that way. So I just want to say that even though I did not experience that start for drawing, I can understand how it must feel, because I feel it sometimes when I'm tense, or if my ideas are very blocky, like my ideas are very stuck and I don't go too far out of what I'm doing. I hope that this video shows just how drawing is not about any of these walls that you put up. It's all about expanding the walls and finding a new way to draw, a new way to express an idea, to attract someone's attention. It's all about finding new ways of doing something every time you draw, in my opinion. If anything, I hope that this video inspired you to draw openly, and draw whatever you think of over and over again, until the things that you draw that are random start becoming things that you like, because it might not start out that way. It might start off a little rough, thinking like, what am I doing? But over time, I guarantee that it will begin to come together, and your ideas will begin to come together, and your randomness will be more organized just by your subconscious and the way that you've built it up, If you think that my drawings suck, that could be valid. I don't really know. It's all my perspective. But if anything, I hope that you got a little bit of this message that I'm trying to get across. Even if you think the art sucks, I think that my message still stands, that this is really important. This is important in expanding your imagination and making things that are cool, making things that are filled with life, that are unique, that kind of make people curious about what is happening, how this came to be. That's about all. I hope that this video did something for somebody out there. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys being here. If you stuck through and watched this video of me drawing some random doodles. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, night, wherever you are. And I will see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.